see the yellow tail. From jackfish to killer whale, I jump in my dingy boat and I head on down the coast. I need a fish to bite, my kids gotta eat tonight, so I do what I gotta do, take some fish back for them to stew. I've been in the trade long, and I was made strong by my father's hand. He said, get rich boy to make your man. What you got a big line, son, you'll be fine. Just keep your eye out for them road groupers passing by. I'm a boatman, a seaman, my work is on the water. Free diving, thrown out line is how I survive. Oh, come on. Yeah, let's go down the shore. Rainy weeks I out to sea, your wife and kids missing me. Yes, I miss them too, but this is what I gotta do. So I'm up with the morning sun, I spend me one big one, two red and then one gray. This gonna be a good day. Couple more fish in the clear, gotta get them on my spare. Three mutton fish shine like gems, gotta go really for them. I pull up my fish traps, my boat loaded after that. More blessings all over me, so much money in the sea. Ocean, a seaman, my work is on the water. Free diving, throw out lightning, that's how I survive. Oh! I thank God for the sea, I thank God for the land. I thank you for making me a Bahamian fisherman. I thank you for the breath to help me dive that depth, and for giving me the spunk to dive before it doesn't count. The only thing I worry about, them poachers from the south that does but hell in me. How they come and raid our sea, defense force hurry come and make them poachers run. Them people don't mean no good, they're messing up their livelihood. Oh, a seaman, hey, my work is on the water. Free diving, thrown out lining, how I survive. Oh, oh, I'm a boatman, hey, a seaman. Yes, my work is on the water. Free diving and thrown out lining, how I survive. Hey, I'm a boatman, a seaman. My work is on the water. Free diving and thrown out line, that's how I survive. Hey, I'm a boatman, oh, a seaman. Ding-a-lick, ding-a-lick, my work is on the water. Thrown out line and free diving, that's how I survive.
On the corner, when I heard my bulldog bark, he was barking at the two men who were gambling in the dark. It was Stagger Lee.
Passport or prison, the immigration director speaking out on passport fraud. Also, there's a workplace warning as growing concern over a spike in industrial accidents. And later, there's an app for that. Government launches a new tool to help you shop smarter. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Nawal. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight, serious concern over how fraudsters are managing to get their hands on Bahamian passports with public confidence on the line and officials facing intense scrutiny. The department says it's now moving aggressively to close the gaps and strengthen oversight. Jose Etienne has the details in our top story tonight.
Passport fraud continues to raise serious concerns about the integrity of the Bahamian passport and the system designed to protect it. With the issue now under a microscope, Immigration Director Stephen Larota says steps have already been taken to strengthen oversight.
We have an officer assigned to the passport officers who was able to screen those documents, anything that's a little suspicious or of concern that's issued by the Department of Immigration that's being used over there. They'll be able to verify and confirm that it is issued by us or not issued, citizenship in particular.
The move comes after a Haitian man was sentenced for passport fraud, a case that investigators say involved fraudulent documents being used to obtain a Bahamian passport.
We became aware of intelligence about fraudulent documents and forged documents that are out there in the wider community that are being circulated. And in some cases, we are aware that documents purported to be from the Department of Immigration is finding its way in the hands of some unscrupulous people. They're using those documents and to go to the passport office, in some cases, and acquire Bahamian passports.
What remains unclear is how those documents are being produced and whether any insiders are assisting in the scheme.
I've seen some stuff that we have already done, and it's out there in social media. We've had dismissals that have not made social media, and we have a number of ongoing investigations regarding to allegations made against some of our people. Not a lot, a handful, and we're actively investigating those matters.
And those matters have to do with passport fraud?
Those matters have to do with fraud in general, so it may include passports.
Larota, who has been at the helm for 7 months, says he's taking a zero-tolerance approach to any form of corruption within the department.
I find that there's malfeasance taking place. We do our proper investigations and we do what we have to do, whether it's taken before the courts or dismissal. The law is not oblivious, and we are not accepting anybody in this organization doing anything that's untoward.
As the investigations continue, the broader issue here remains safeguarding the credibility of a document that represents national identity and security. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, from the crime beat, a 23-year-old man in serious condition tonight in hospital after being shot overnight, but police say he's refusing to cooperate. Officers say shortly after 8, an anonymous caller revealed that a man was outside a home on South Street in Malcolm Lane, suffering from an apparent gunshot wound to the upper body. He was transported to hospital via private vehicle. Authorities intercepted that vehicle on Marlborough Street and escorted the man to hospital. The victim reportedly refused to give police details on how he was shot. Investigations are ongoing tonight. Meantime, the trial of 5 men accused in a multi-million-dollar cocaine smuggling plot from the Bahamas to the United States is now set for March 1st of next year in a federal court in Manhattan. Among those facing charges, Elvis Nathaniel Curtis, a former chief superintendent of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Prosecutors allege that Curtis and his co-accused William Simon, Luis Ferrando, Orzio Toro, Alrenique Jean Baptiste, and Mario Steele Pomarte conspired to import cocaine into the United States and were allegedly involved in paying off corrupt Bahamian officials to facilitate the scheme between May of 2021 and late 2024. Lawyers also telling the court that the men are being kept separately in prison at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York. It's preventing them from meeting together. One prison staff member reportedly lost his job for being around one of the defendants. The accused faces charges including cocaine importation, conspiracy, possession of firearms, and firearms conspiracy. Prosecutors also reveal that plea negotiations are ongoing, leaving open the possibility that the case could be resolved before the trial date, a story we are continuing to follow. Also from the crime beat tonight, a 42-year-old woman is facing charges after she allegedly threatened to shoot her landlord during a dispute over rent. Prosecutors say Latoyson Roll went to a Pine Yard Road apartment on February 15 to collect rent from Rosemary Brown. It's alleged that Brown told Roll she didn't owe him any money and reportedly threatened to, quote, blow his brains out. Brown denied the allegation when she appeared before Magistrate Abigail Farrington. She was granted $5,000 bail. The matter now adjourned to April 22nd for trial. Meantime, a Supreme Court judge sentencing a man to 15 years in prison for possession of an assault rifle and ammunition. Antonio Cartwright learning his fate when he appeared before Justice Franklin Williams on Wednesday. Cartwright was arrested back on May 5th of 2022 on St. Lucia Street in the Elizabeth Estates community. Officers on patrol reportedly saw him brandishing an assault rifle. As they approached, prosecutors say he opened fire. Another police unit later apprehended him, recovering that weapon along with 12 rounds of ammunition. The jury has acquitted Cartwright of an attempted murder charge of the officers, but found him guilty of possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. He will now serve some 15 years behind bars. Well, labor officials are trying to get to the bottom of what seems to be an unusual amount of industrial accidents in the past few months. Our Danielle Dean has the details tonight.
Industrial accidents are raising serious concerns tonight after 4 men were injured on job sites so far this year, 2 of those incidents proving fatal. The most recent case unfolded Wednesday on Fire Trail Road, where a 34-year-old man was trapped under a crane at a construction site. Emergency crews were called to the scene and worked to extricate the man before rushing him to hospital. Officials say he remains in critical condition. The incident marks the 4th industrial accident recorded this year. 2 earlier cases resulted in deaths, while another worker continues to recover from his injuries. Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll says the frequency of these incidents is a growing concern for her ministry.
Occupational safety and health is a major concern for the Department of Labor. We have inspectors that go on job sites. We have actually, through the OAS, gotten drone technology to learn to how we can assist in remote locations and over our work sites. So very concerned. We know that a lot of training and retraining has to happen.
The minister, however, emphasized that even when the department conducts inspections and safety protocols are in place, accidents can still occur.
An accident is that. It's an accident, something that was not expected, but of course tragically happened.
Nevertheless, in light of the uptick, she says the Department of Labor will be stepping up inspections, particularly at active construction sites, to ensure proper safety measures are being followed.
Where there is not happening, there are fines that are in place.
Wednesday's incident prompted the immediate closure of the Fire Trail Road worksite as investigators work to determine the cause. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, Bahamas Public Services Union President Kimsley Ferguson claims the presentation of the union's industrial agreement for public servants on July 22nd of last year. They've written the Ministry of Labor and the Public Service at least twice, but he says there's been nothing except vague assurances that a counterproposal is in the works.
That's going on 7 months now. And so the union is concerned. So I'm calling on all public servants, ready yourselves, because I believe, and I said it before, that it is the government's intention to not address the industrial agreements before the general election.
But Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll reported as late as Wednesday that she's witnessed a correspondence via email between Ferguson and the Labor Relations Unit head Bernard Evans over the past few months.
There was a BPSU agreement that was submitted to our Labor Relations Unit. It's normally submitted in Word form so that it is able to be amended. It was submitted in PDF form, and Mr. Evans has been requesting for that PDF to be transcribed to Word so that the amendments can be made. But we are waiting for the counterproposal to be sent so that we can continue negotiations. As it stands, we are at the negotiation table, and that means counterproposals are going back and forth. We're waiting on a proposal from finance, according to Mr. Evans, and we are in regular negotiation phase.
Still talking labor news as far as Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis tells us, while the government took office, the Department of Information Communications and Technology had outstanding promotions spanning some 16 years. Within the first year, the minister claims they prioritized resolving cases, but that admittedly, he says, some fell through the cracks. His response coming after a second protest by employees yesterday.
Following the last protest, I did receive a letter from the president of the union, Mr. Ferguson, who listed 13 persons who still had outstanding issues. So, by and large, the entire department has been more or less dealt with in terms of promotions, except with the exception of those 13 persons who have various issues that are unique to them. And so what we're doing is we're working on that, working together with the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, also Public Service to really resolve those as soon as possible. So I would just encourage them to understand that it's not, they're being ignored.
Meantime, Freetown Member of Parliament Wayne Munro and the National Security Minister, he's chastising the Free National Movement for leaving the former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis, off of their 2026 election ticket. His comments come as Dr. Minnis touted some of his work his administration was able to carry out while in office during a sitting of the House of Assembly yesterday. Munro went as far as to say he was disturbed by the action and that he believes the sitting members of Parliament ought to have come to the defense of Dr. Minnis when he needed it most.
I did not see St. Anne's when they denied Kalani a nomination, standing up and saying to his leadership that Kalani should have a nomination. I didn't hear any of them on that side stand up for Kalani, who in fact, and I'm not being gracious to him, but he gave all of them an opportunity. And what I find disturbing, and the Bahamian people should find disturbing, is a man who gave you an opportunity. You ought not to kick him to the curb just like that. Because if you do that to him, who activated your career, imagine what you will do to people who had nothing to do with you.
The comments not sitting well with members of the side opposite, leading to a heated exchange between Munro and the deputy leader of the opposition, Shannon Don Cartwright.
Is they should have enough respect for the man who gave them life, not to do that to him. And it's as simple as that. And as the old people say, Madam Speaker, how could you bite the hand that feeds you? And Kalani won't do it, because Kalani have too much class to do it. But St. Barnabas sitting next to him, he gave you the job, man. Why you ain't stand up for him? He gave you the job. You ain't stand up for him. You let them put him down.
You need to stand up for the police and make sure the police
and I do that every day. I do that every day. Stop deflecting. Stand up. Stand up for the man. Stand up for the man who stood up for you. And stop running away. You're running and you're running and you're running away.
Well, tomorrow is termination day for some 279 employees at the Grand Lucine Resort. They're expected to be made redundant as the hotel prepares to shut its doors in preparation for reported renovations. The announcement came in a notice to Trade Union Congress President Opie Ferguson, who represents over 90 managers included in that number. According to the letter, workers will receive severance pay, benefits, and entitlements under their industrial agreements by the end of this month as the company proceeds with the redundancies. Reporters pressing Press Secretary Keishla Adderley for clarity on government stance regarding the layoffs and whether the affected workers will indeed be dismissed, but no definitive statement was provided at the time.
Well, that is something that's being reviewed. I can't say anything further on that at this point.
Meantime, a new government-backed app is set to transform the way Bahamians shop. It's allowing users to compare prices from hundreds of grocery and convenience stores, giving consumers more control over their spending. It's also helping them to make some smarter choices at checkout. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. has the details tonight.
Products from more than 230 grocery and convenience stores are expected to be featured on the government's new price tag app in the coming weeks, giving Bahamians the ability to compare prices, find better value, and save money on everyday shopping. The app, currently in its beta testing phase, was developed by the Novio Group as part of the government's digital transformation push. The Bahamas Trade Commission and the Consumer Protection Commission assisted with logistical development and industry coordination. Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission, Senator Barry Griffin, says the platform is designed to give consumers more power at the checkout.
It will encourage competitive pricing because all Bahamians across the nation will be able to compare prices more readily. It will discourage excessive markups. It will empower low-income households to stretch their budgets.
In addition to price comparisons, the app will allow users to file consumer complaints, create grocery lists, track gas prices, and receive notifications on specials and deals. Vice President of Operations at Novio Group, Kwanya Smith, says the real value lies in the detailed product breakdowns that help shoppers make informed decisions.
The description of the item, the size, where it's located at or available at, and the cheapest price therein.
For those questioning whether prices will remain current, officials say a team from PricePal will be responsible for verifying product listings and ensuring accuracy as prices fluctuate.
We have price inspectors who can come to their store, help to upload all of the prices and their products into the system, and they will only be responsible for the updating and maintenance as their prices change.
Developer at Novio Group, Valdez Williams, says the app marks a shift towards smarter, data-driven shopping for Bahamian households.
You can scan a barcode right from a product you already have at your home. You can see what's the best price and leave your house. You can build shopping lists, and the system will calculate the cheapest store to buy everything on it. Not item by item, your entire list optimized for your location.
Officials say a national launch is expected in the coming weeks as final recommendations from the beta phase are implemented. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
During a recent meeting with CARICOM leaders in St. Kitts and Nevis, several key regional concerns were placed on the table. Prime Minister Philip Davis attending that meeting alongside Marco Rubio, where discussions focused on regional crime, migration, and visa-related matters. Press Secretary Keishla Adderley revealing that Caribbean leaders also sought answers following a 2024 decision by the U.S. State Department to pause the issuance of non-tourist visas in several countries, including the Bahamas. Adderley says Secretary Rubio used that meeting to provide clarity to affected Caribbean nations on the matter.
Hold on the processing of those documents is just of a nature that has to do with revisiting protocols and making sure that processes are in place and they're happy with the processes in place in the interest of the U.S. government. And it's nothing more, nothing less than that. And also discussed during that meeting was further cooperation in the business sector between the United States and CARICOM countries and the framework that will, going forward, guide discussions in that regard.
The government plans to guarantee some $1.86 million in financing from the African Export-Import Bank to support planning for the proposed Afro-Caribbean Marketplace and Logistics Center over in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Minister Ginger Moxie calling it a potential game changer for Grand Bahamians and the economy, while opposition leader Michael Pintard questions whether borrowing is necessary. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, is this a smart economic strategy or risky borrowing? Some 44% of participants voted smart economic strategy, while some 48% voted risky borrowing. 1% voted that it was too early to tell, and 7% said you needed more details on the deal. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls as your voice matters tonight. Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline at 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms. Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, Share your thoughts about today's stories in the comment section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, those employees at BTVI, they're back to protesting. We'll tell you why coming up. And later tonight, H.G. Christie partnering with its clients for a special street naming ceremony. We've got more on that right after this break.
Resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
Forget them flower, forget them check. You know it's Tommy, get the respect. AP is hot, we sitting close. Grease on your lip, that's how I know. You is my person, that ain't no secret. You sharing, I might keep it. Love buckets.
8 tasty pieces of chicken, thighs and legs for just $20. Add a large side for $5. This February, love deserves a bucket. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
Bahamian ownership in fly fishing is very important. Not only does it create opportunities for Bahamians, this is our industry, so we're proud of what we do. Opportunity is important. It's the story of my life, because with the opportunities, you can chart your own course. Prime Minister Davis and his team see the opportunities by providing this grants and what it can do for our country. It's just wonderful, and I'm glad to see these ventures working so that other people can get involved. This is real. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's help ourselves.
The world is changing. It's bringing new challenges, but also new opportunities. The truth is, our economy always left too many Bahamians out. Now we're opening new doors in agriculture, tourism, energy, entrepreneurship, providing grants, scholarships, national service, and upskilling. A new generation is rising, and we're finally moving in the right direction, building an economy that includes everyone.
For more than 3 decades, the Bahamas Bridal Show has made dreams come true, all on a single day in a ballroom decorated wall to wall. Meet 14 wedding and home suppliers, giving away thousands of dollars in great prizes while you enjoy a fashion show, wedding demonstrations, food, and champagne sampling. Someone to Love comes to Bahamas Grand Hyatt, 2 p.m. Sunday, March 22nd. Purchase tickets for this spectacular wedding and event show at bahamasevents.net or call 421-9783.
Matching pajamas, Junkanoo, decorating contest, or caroling with the crew. However you Christmas, do it your way. With a Christmas loan from Bank of the Bahamas, you get the funds you need to celebrate the way you want. Plus a chance to win one of 3 shopping sprees. Apply today at www.bankbahamas.com or email us at loans@bankbahamas.com. Christmas your way with FEB, your bank of solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your Eyewitness News gas tracker. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Shell, $5.10. Esso coming in at $5.11. Rubis, $5.12. Your local prices at the pump. Welcome back. One more news from the labor front tonight. Despite previously asserting that long stall benefits and industrial matters at the Bahamas Technical and Vocational Institute have begun moving forward following the departure of former President Dr. Linda Davis, Union President Ernesto Williams is now taking a direct aim at the institution's current leadership, who he's accusing of failing to negotiate in good faith. Williams, who heads the Bahamas Union of Auxiliary Professionals in Education, says President Kevin Basden is now stonewalling on crucial contractual matters that affect staffers, claiming that the union isn't being allowed to have its say on negotiations.
Since November 2025, we have been in negotiations with the institution, and unfortunately, those negotiations have been met with poor faith, where the union brings good faith and industrial goodwill to the table and a means to make decisions and negotiate for the betterment of our employees, our members. The institution instead, led by acting president Kevin Baston, who was a past chairman of BTVI's board, continuing those poor minimalistic tactics and practices, he's bringing back that means of I take control and I'm refusing to touch anything. This is what it is. You have to take it or leave it. It's poor practice. It's poor negotiation. And we're saying it's done. We are tired of constantly presenting the practices that we're trying to negotiate with equal partners, who we believe to be equal partners, but the institution isn't returning that in kind. Career paths, respectable salary scales, compassionate leave, sick leave, permanent and pensionable status, the rewards and awards for long-standing service employees. We want to be able to deal with the matters and the priorities at hand.
Basin and other union officials unsuccessful up until news time. Well, it was a red letter day for the Department of Immigration today as officials launched their marching band, joining their comrades in other law enforcement agencies whose members have an opportunity to showcase their musical talents while in uniform. Operations brought to a standstill for a moment as Immigration Minister Alfred Sayers, department executives, and other officers watched with excitement as band members carried out their inaugural exercise.
It's history in the making for the Bahamas Immigration Department. We've never had a band before. There was a lot of interest in it, and Minister supported it 1,000%. He said to me, make it happen, and 60 days, this is what we have. What we have right now is not the entire complement because we just got out the gate. We don't have all the instruments and we don't have our uniform and any of the sort, but right now the band has over 30 members. So when we get our full accompaniment, you'll see that we're going to be competitive with our comrades in the law enforcement community.
Meet Joshua Ferguson. He's a trainee immigration officer who's also a trumpet player in the band. He says he's happy to be a part of history as he and his colleagues lobbied for this day to come.
It's a day that a lot of us, myself and the other band members included, have been looking forward to. You know, I joined immigration. We didn't have a band at the time, but it was something that I always hoped would actually become. I know some of us have been waiting 4, 5, 6 years for this day, and so when we got the news that they were starting into this venture, it was a quite exciting time. You know, we had people flocking, you know, signing up, and everyone saying, you know, whether if I can come, if I don't know anything, if I do know something, and so it was just a great outpouring and support from members from all over the department. We already knew that coming into the game that we were going to face some scrutiny being the new kids on the block, quote unquote, you know, but we're excited, we're hungry, we're passionate, we're ready to put our all on the field. And, you know, I think with enough work, you know, this today was just 1 month, 4 weeks in, and, you know, we already achieved the result. I think with a little more polishing and work, we can stand up on the side of some of the big boys.
Well, Revolution Church and head pastor Aquino Monk are there celebrating 2 years in grand style with a special service and anniversary concert on Sunday. The celebration starts at Fusion Superplex on Sunday morning, and church volunteer Rosalind Miller has the details.
We have a dynamic speaker. His name is Bishop S.Y. Younger. He is going to be so dynamic, transformational. We want everybody to come expecting a mighty move of God. If you are somebody that wants a little bit of encouragement, wants a little bit of hope, come and celebrate with us and come and share in this service. The service begins at 8 a.m. The doors will be open. You can be seated as early as 7 a.m. Our intercession is going to start at 7:45 and we're going to get started at 8 a.m.
On that Sunday evening, Revolution is expected to be hosting a concert headlined by international gospel artists Kalante Gavin and Anton Cook, with other special guests, according to Pastor Shaquille Williams.
We will also have local talents such as Orslin Jador, Davian Chase, the singing Bishop, singing Prophet, singing Bishop, Lawrence Rule, the South Lounge Church Choir, our very own Rare Voices, and it's going to be hosted by none other than Dasque. Tickets are on sale for $30 for the general public. You can get the tickets online at ticketboxevents.com, or you can get them at El Shaddai Party Rentals in Nassau Village, right next to Extra Value. Fusion Superplex will also have the tickets on this week, Friday and Saturday, from the hours of 1 to 6 on Friday and from the hours of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Well, HG Christie is partnering with one of its clients for a street naming ceremony today. The newest street in the Western Airport Industrial Park, Senorita Strawn Close, honors the legacy of Crooked Island native, distinguished educator, and mother of 6, Gloriana Strawn. Strawn's educational start was not traditional since she wasn't able to go to high school, but her son, Dr. Ian Strawn, recalls she was resilient, having opened a high school in North Andros, worked as an education officer and director of training for the country, and made a notable mark in the hotel industry.
Here we have a Bahamian hero being celebrated even 20 years after she has gone on. She was an educator in the Family Islands. H.C. Christie is on every island of the Bahamas promoting real estate. But we are grateful to promote someone like this who has done so much for our country. She also was instrumental in the Nova Southeastern University when they first came here. She was one of the persons that helped to coordinate. And her son, Dr. Ian Strawn, is still living on her legacy as an educator at the University of the Bahamas.
She went to university and took all 6 of us with her to university in Jamaica. She came back, she opened a high school in North Andros. She worked as a principal in the schools. She worked as a education officer. She worked as the director of training for the country. She worked in the hotel industry, personnel and training. She was a significant citizen, someone who also later in life formed a retirement association called the Golden Days Association. And 20 years after her passing, people still ask me about her and people still say they miss her.
Well, still to come in Eyewitness News tonight, a local firm is pushing innovation in wealth management. We've got the details, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
Or have a small business that's looking for a faster, easier way to submit your C10 statements and pay NIB contributions? Sign up for the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today. It's quick, secure, and takes just 5 simple steps. You will need a completed R1 business registration form and 2 forms of ID, a passport, voter's card, NIB card, or driver's license. Choose your role and enter your info, NI number, employer's NI number, name, and date of birth. Hit next. Enter your email, check your inbox for the code, then type it in to verify. Upload the R1 form and your 2 forms of ID and tap submit. Track your application anytime by tapping check status. Once approved, you'll get your confirmation and PIN by email within 24 to 72 hours. Return to the app, tap register now, set your login details and enter your final code. That's it. You're now ready to manage your NIB contributions anytime, anywhere. Self-employed persons, small business owners. Skip the line, save time. Download the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today.
Step into any Super Value or Quality Supermarkets location for great specials like Devon corned beef, 12 ounces, $2.29. Jacquard vegetable oil, 40 ounces, $4.49. Pearl Milling pancake mixes, assorted 28 ounces, $4.99. Sweet cantaloupes, 2 for $5. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.15 per pound. From store to store, no one saves you more than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Tasha, what you saying? Girl, right here, rushing to cash J.S. Johnson. I gotta renew my insurance. Oh, I with JSJ too, but I don't wait in line. I just pay online. Stop it. How you do that? Just email info@jsjohnson.com and say, sign me up for the online service center. They'll reach out and hook you up. You ain't never have to stand in line again. Amen to that. Save time. Pay online. Sign up for J.S. Johnson's online service center today.
Insurance, peace of mind.
103.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D. All backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, 30. VIP, 75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, as more Bahamians look for ways to build wealth and tap into global markets, one local investment firm says access and education are key. This week, executives outlined how they're helping clients manage risks, diversify smartly, and think long-term. Our business reporter, Natario McKinsey, has more in this week's Inside the Boardroom.
This week, I sat down with Michael Anderson, CEO of the RF Group. We began with the big picture, including the role emerging technology could play in shaping the Bahamas' economic future. Anderson says while financial services face constant global pressure, there are opportunities for the country to leverage innovation, particularly in the areas like healthcare.
It's coming and the Bahamas will benefit. We were looking at opportunities where we think maybe in healthcare there was this opportunity for Bahamas to use AI or developments in AI in the healthcare space to try and be more of a medical center, to create like a health center here. So if you think about the industry that's been successful across the Caribbean, has been a financial center industry. So like Cayman, Bahamas, Barbados, they all created a financial industry around legislation that the British people put in place back in the 60s. Yeah, and we've largely run forward on that. But Europeans have been chasing down our laws and trying to get us to change our tax, initiatives and so on. And I think slowly eroding the attractiveness of the financial center model, And so as we look forward and try and create new business models for the country, we thought the development of AI in the healthcare space would create an opportunity for us here in the Bahamas to build a healthcare space.
But at the heart of it all, Anderson says the mission is straightforward, helping clients build and protect real wealth. He notes that RF has brought dozens of companies to the local capital markets over the years, expanding access and allowing thousands of Bahamians to own equity.
If you're ever trying to generate wealth, okay, you don't make it by putting a deposit in the bank. You can save money by putting money in the bank, but you don't create wealth by putting that. So if you're going to try and create wealth, you have to invest. So investments can be in equities and shares, ordinary shares of companies, or you can put it into debt. But you have to be willing to take risk. So, and again, different levels of risk, okay? But if you want a return, you have to be willing to take risk. So when we first set off many years ago, we decided we were owned by a bank, mind you. So the bank was doing whatever the bank was doing. And we decided we'd offer people in the Bahamas a different approach to banking where we could help them create wealth. So we set off with the primary objective. Our mission was to help our clients create and manage wealth.
One structural challenge, he says, is limited diversification options locally. Through relationships with global investment banks and access to U.S. equity markets, RF Bank and Trust helps clients build portfolios that balance risks and opportunity.
The biggest problem with having a Bahamas dollar-centric space where you're kind of a closed currency market is the lack of diversification opportunities. So whereas we think there's some good companies in the Bahamas and, you should invest in those companies, at some stage the Bahamian economy goes through dips and so on. If you're not diversified, if you don't have assets in some other economies, you're going to struggle to get the same returns you otherwise have been getting. So the ability to diversify is one of the key aspects of it.
Anderson says access without understanding can be dangerous. As more Bahamians enter global markets, he believes investor education from risk tolerance to portfolio structure will determine whether wealth is built or lost.
Important issue facing the Bahamas in terms of how limited that has been in the past. So if I say to you, when we started back in 97, there were 4 publicly traded securities. This was not a securities market. So what's happened over that since the basically early 2000s, which is 20-something years ago, is people have started to see more and more of it. So as children come through the education system, I think that needs to become far more relevant in their training and in their education at school. And I don't know, everybody who works in the market tries to provide some form of education, all the time, but I know we don't hit enough people, so I'm not sure how best to improve that, but I know unless people come to and attend events and come and seek information from companies like ourselves, they're never going to know enough. And yet it's probably the most important kind of tool that people have to create wealth and to even just sustain their wealth.
For RF Bank and Trust, the focus remains clear: broaden access, strengthen education, and help Bahamians build wealth that lasts. Natario McKinsey, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Ontario. Well, the Bahama Games are making a return. This coming from Sports Minister Mario Boleg, telling Eyewitness News he believes the upcoming general election will not interfere with the event. Boleg says a local organizing committee has already been formed and began planning for the multi-sport games that will bring together thousands of athletes from across the country. Boleg says sports officials are hoping for the games to be held in July.
A structured organization too takes the responsibility for organizing these games. And yes, Bahama Games is still scheduled to be this year, and those who were appointed to be the chairman and those executives of the LOC is still in place, and they have a task ahead of them. They should do their task while we work on ours, which is to prepare ourselves for the upcoming general election. So that shouldn't hamper anything of the progress of preparing for the Bahama Games. So the Bahamian people and all those athletes who look forward to Bahama Games from me last year in 2023 could look forward to it coming again this year in 2026.
Boleg adding that he's pleased to be a part of the first government in over 2 decades to bring the Bahama Games back. To him, he says it exemplifies the true spirit of sports.
Well, we understand what sports does, and sports unite a country together. And to mere fact that you had a whole generation had no appreciation or no knowledge of the Bahama Games after 21 years hiatus, to bring it back under this administration was to try to get the newer generation to get that Olympic feel. Not all of our athletes will be able to play in the Olympics, but we all have an opportunity at home to represent the islands from which we came. And so we wanted to give them that feeling and also give them an opportunity to have a bragging rights for a 3-year period.
Well, still to come in Eyewitness News, our Devontae Hanna has the latest check on sports right after this break.
Tourism today, Bahamas tourism today.
Growing up as a child, I used to watch my mother do the straw work. They would make the baskets, the fanners, the brooms, the hats, all of those things they would sell right here on the island. She taught me the basics. I grew up old school, so, the older people, they taught us what they knew. And even though we may not have appreciated it then, I appreciate it now. But that tradition is dying. Now that I'm a grandmother, I can appreciate my mother so much more. These are the traditions that we need to teach our children. That's very, very important.
Growing up, I got the experience and the knowledge of how to use different bush medicines. One of the ideas I had was to allow others to experience the traditional bush medicines that I grew up drinking. You can get a pack of tea bags that the leaves are harvested right here in Kit Island. You could have a nice cup of tea that you know where it came from. I try to incorporate my knowledge of Bahamian traditional medicine into all of my products. Traditional medicine, it's natural, it's holistic, it's a part of nature. We are a part of nature. My main goal with everything that I make is that I want the person using those products to experience Bahamian.
We have made significant progress on the installation of the temporary causeway at the Tino Beach Bridge. The causeway, when completed, will allow all vehicle types to access Tino Island with no weight restrictions.
So since the passing of Hurricane Dorian, the Lucayan Service Company has been challenged over the past 6 years. We have had major failures within the interior parts of the island on Grand Bahama Highway that lead across to the eastern part of the island, which is the Casuarina Bridge and the Sajak Cable Bridge.
In August 2023, after an inspection of the Tino Beach Bridge, there were some concerns.
And for 2 years, we've been working very closely with engineers here on island and those that are from out of Nassau as well to ensure that we had the best results going forward.
We've been exploring various options to replace the bridge to ensure that we make the best decision on the way forward for long-term sustainability. The causeway will be built by simply dumping fill into the canal. This fill will be compacted to engineering standards. After it's compacted, an asphalt top will be added. After the asphalt top is added, there will be jersey barriers and other traffic management tools to make sure pedestrians and road users are safe.
Currently, this is an emergency repair that we're doing right now.
It will allow residents on the southern side of the bridge to return to a sense of normalcy.
Bukai Service Company and Tamarind Development Company, we take the environment serious.
We want to let everybody know that an environmental study was completed.
And we are following the environmental monitoring plan that was provided.
We continue to work along with stakeholders and also with outside and exterior entities
to make sure we adhere to the plan and we are accountable.
And any concerns that they bring to the table, they are foremost addressed in an urgent and controlled manner.
103.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D. All backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, 30. VIP, 75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Devontae Hanna. Welcome to Eyewitness Sports. Team Bahamas is set for 2 crucial matchups in the FEB World Cup qualifiers. The Bahamas Basketball Federation is calling on fans to rally behind the national team as they face Jamaica tonight. That game is ongoing at the National Indoor Sports Center in Kingston, Jamaica. They will then take on Puerto Rico on March 1st at 7 p.m. at the Ruben Rodriguez Coliseum in Bayamon. Now, this is all on the road to the Olympics and, of course, the World Cup.
We're looking forward to this window because this now is a bounce back window after losing 2 to Canada. So this will put us back into contention in the group so that we stay in the top 3 and advance to the second round. This is a crucial window for us because now this puts us at trying to pull even with Jamaica and pull even with Puerto Rico or go ahead of Puerto Rico, which will bode well for us going into the last window, which will be in June when we'll have all of our NBA players here, which will bode well for us in terms of the effort we'll have to overthrow both Jamaica and Puerto Rico in the summer windows.
Meantime, Disney, the Buddy Hield Foundation, and ESPN are teaming up for Phase 2 of the Play Project with hopes of expanding opportunities for thousands of young people in the capital, Eleuthera and Abaco, its major hubs. Disney explains.
Phase 2 keeps the momentum going with an even stronger focus on creating and enhancing sports spaces across Nassau, Eleuthera, and Abaco. We will expand into New Providence and Abaco, develop and enhance additional spaces in Eleuthera, introduce new and reimagined basketball, baseball, softball, and volleyball spaces, pair infrastructure with equipment, coaching support, and long-term programming. This is not just about building courts and fields. It's about building togetherness, agency, broader horizons, and what we proudly call the Disney difference, delivering joy, optimism, play, and confidence in every experience.
More on that in a later newscast. Well, that's your look at sports. More news is in a moment.
This is the inaugural edition of The Movement, your energy and transport briefing, bringing you updates directly from the Ministry of Energy and Transport. Welcome to The Movement, live from the National Energy Summit.
We begin with Energy in Motion, an inside look at the National Energy Summit 2025, where leaders, students, and stakeholders all gathered to accelerate the Bahamas' energy transition. Guided by the theme, Shaping a Sustainable Energy Future Through People, Power, and Partnerships, this summit stands as the signature annual event for the Ministry of Energy and Transport.
As the Minister of Energy and Transport, my vision of a sustainable energy future is driven by three conditions: reliability and security, affordability, and low carbon.
Across 2 impactful days, innovation, discussion, and collaboration filled every room.
Let's use the summit to deepen our understanding of where we stand. These are the first steps in a process that will benefit Bahamians for generations.
The Minister of Energy and Transport recorded key milestones: 488 steel poles replaced, over 9,000 feet of underground cable installed, power outages reduced by 86% on New Providence, and across the Bahamas, more than 18 new power stations are being developed, introducing solar, LNG, and energy storage systems.
Whether you live in Bimini or Nagua, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is dedicated to ensuring reliable, affordable, sustainable, and low-carbon electricity for everyone.
I'm Larissa Lundy, and this is The Movement, your energy and transport briefing. Stay with us.
The Fox Foundation proudly presents the keynote speaker for the 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, this March 19th at 7 p.m. at the beautiful Bahamas Resort. Get ready to be inspired by Randy Zuckerberg, tech innovator and the creator of Facebook Live. She revolutionized real-time digital engagement, empowering individuals and brands to broadcast instantly to global audiences. And now she brings that innovation and insight to the Fox Foundation's 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the Bahamas Resort. Under this year's theme, Give to Gain, join us for a night designed to inspire growth, spark opportunity, and strengthen the future of women in business.
Okay guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This $150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2-ball. 10. Give me another 2-ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. There's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Thursday. Coming up and Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller, a look at all of today's top stories with her panel. That's coming up and Beyond the Headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Everybody get up.
To Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the workers at Grand Lucaya Resort in Grand Bahama to be paid tomorrow. We talk about that. Noted attorney and FNM Yamakura candidate Ellsworth Johnson speaks out on behalf of embattled FNM Mount Moriah candidate Marvin Dames. We hear some of what he has to say today. The Department of Immigration tightening its detection measures to detect fraud in the department. We'll talk about that as well. And then later tonight, Father Bradley Miller speaks out against the national norm of the Bahamas, sweethearting, after that UB study. It's all straight ahead for you this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, the workers of the Grand Lucaya Resort celebrating this evening. In fact, I received several calls earlier today and this afternoon. Those workers are scheduled to be paid beginning tomorrow morning at 9. That's right. The hours that were shared with me and told to me will be between 9 and noon. That's 12 o'clock for line staff. And then management will be paid sometime between 12 and 1 at the resort. And so we get into it right there this evening. Just some good news for Grand Bahama. Of course, we wish this also included perhaps new information and an update for the Grand Lucaya itself, but certainly to see those workers very happy, it really is a good thing for them. And so I'm going to ask my panelists their thoughts on this after seeing these people lobby for months and for months and for months. Welcome to Be on the Headlines, Leslie Miller and Gabrielle McKinney Inius. Good evening to both of you. Welcome to Be on the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas, and those watching from all around the world. It's so good to be here.
Good evening, my dear. Good evening, Bahamas. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, absolutely. Gabrielle, thank you for doing that because we do have our audience really is all over. And I am grateful whenever you all watch, when you reach out throughout the United States and even across the pond, you all do. So thank you so much for watching. Your thoughts, though, about this good news. My God, this Grand Lucaya, anything surrounding the Grand Lucaya related to it deserves to be some sort of good news. Well, the workers this time are very happy because they're being paid, as we are told here on Beyond the Headlines, tomorrow morning.
I am elated for those persons. They need their money. Honest days work for an honest day's pay. It's unfortunate that it took so long. I will celebrate with them even more when the money is in the bank. I am just grateful that it is going to be processed, and I hope and pray that all goes well with them. Y'all, please, please, please. All of us come together and let's pray these people get their monies. That's all I want to say on that.
I mean, I'm not surprised that they're being paid. I didn't realize that they haven't paid them, for maybe a month or two?
No, I think more than 2 months, if not even
Yeah, but I'm sure Mr. Davis is going to sort that out tomorrow and get everybody paid up to date, eh? I just want to see the real contract that the money comes into this country and that project gets started. That's my concern, really. I mean, I think, you work, you got to get paid. So pay the people tomorrow. This is government paid every week anyhow.
Yes,
so better late than never.
Absolutely.
Who's paying
And let's
that
hope it
bill?
don't happen again.
The
government is paying that.
I think the
That's why I don't say it's a big deal.
The government is paying
Yeah, I don't say
them,
it's a big deal.
Yeah, and that is the kind of the vexing thing, because it's like this resort was supposedly sold, and they should pick it up. But that was part of the pushback, that they should not be responsible for paying those employees, and obviously they stuck to their guns because the government is now paying the people.
It's one of those unfortunate things, and let's hope it don't happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, you all, this has been in the news now for a few days. Ellsworth Johnson this time joining in. He is the Free National Movement's candidate in Yamacraw and a noted attorney. Well, he's joining in on the discussion as it relates to Marvin Dames. You all know what's been happening with Dames all week long, really, and that he has been the headline. Well, Johnson, in a voice note today, took time to speak out on Dames' behalf, the first person from the Free National Movement to do so. Let's listen in on some of what he had to say, and then we'll come talk about it.
I make this recording to record my confidence in Mr. Marvin Dames and his wife, and to state unequivocally, in my opinion, after having known Mr. Dames for more than 30 years and worked with him, that he is a man of an unquestionable integrity and high moral standing. And I think that covers everything in terms of a reference by myself for Mr. Dames. Recently, there has been an arrest in the United States by a Bahamian who I'm advised has admitted culpability or guilt for what has happened. Now, I cannot admit and or deny that Mr. Dames owned that vessel, but I know that it's not uncommon in law for the owner of a vessel, the owner of an airplane, the owner of a home in particular, because we see that all the time, to have something go on and they have absolutely no knowledge of the incident, for example.
And so there you have it, really Ellsworth Johnson, someone who is highly regarded by many, many people, a noted attorney, as I said before, speaking out, really the first person, the first official voice of the Free National Movement to say, you know what, listen, you all, let's just sort of give Marvin Dames the benefit of the doubt right now, because his character is something he can vouch for. You all, your thoughts on the fact that Ellsworth Johnson, who himself is a candidate, will sort of put himself on the line this way and stepping into something that is still evolving?
Well, Shanique and Leslie, I think that Ellsworth has always been a team player. When you look across the history of Ellsworth's involvement in the Free National Movement, I think he's one of those that exemplifies teamwork, if there is one. The reason why I say that is because the FNM isn't known for coming to the rescue of their people. Let's be honest. Let's lay the cards out on the table. On the contrast, when you see the PLP guilty, not guilty, whatever it is, they stick by their people. They're out to court. When it is their people are going to court, whatever the verdict is, and they clean it up on the end. The FNM doesn't have the reputation of sticking beside their people. So Ellsworth Johnson is an anomaly in this whole situation with him coming forward. Marvin Dames has had a reputation and enjoyed a reputation of high integrity. While he was on the force, as he traversed through his first leg of candidacy, he had a high reputation of integrity. So this situation is a blow. It's definitely a blow. It's a slippery slope. As details continue to be revealed to us, we don't really know what to say. He now has the insurmountable task of trying to figure out, should he go on or should he pull back now his nomination, even though he is innocent until proven guilty, or he may be completely and totally innocent of all of this. He now has to put what is at stake. What is at stake? Because we've seen a similar situation happen with somebody who resigned for something that their business partner would have done. They were completely innocent, completely dissolved of charges, but just to protect the brand of the organization they were a part of, they resigned. That person was innocent though. So this is going to be a difficult choice for him.
Gabrielle and Leslie, you feel as though it may have to come down to that for the sake, the integrity, the image of the Free National Movement, especially in an election season, an election being so close that Dames may have to kind of make that decision?
Because now it's taking away, right? So your opponents are going to use this as a sort of kryptonite to continue to beat this thing into, because the Free National Movement has always been that party to preach accountability, transparency, good governance, all these different things. So when you have something like this coming up, your opponents, being the Progressive Liberal Party, is going to say, okay, the chiefs of all the good behavior and all these good things finally have something where we can kind of use it, whether it's just for a public relations standpoint, to really get at you. So it's going to be up to the leadership and Marvin Dames to decide, listen, I don't want to derail the Free National Movement's campaign. I don't want to take away from what's going on. We've done some great work here, but I don't want to be the distraction. That's going to be the decision leadership and Marvin Dames will have to make in this.
I'm surprised, Leslie, to hear Gabrielle say the Free National Movement is not known to try and sort of, gather around and hold hands around its own when and if that individual finds themselves faced with an issue, as this one is.
It's very, very unfortunate that this situation has come to the forefront at this critical juncture in our political climate when the elections is right around the corner. I have the greatest respect for Mr. Johnson, very affable young man and a decent human being, son of O.J. His father was a very fast competitor in the political arena. It's unfortunate that a man of Mr. Dames' caliber has been caught up in the situation. But you know, in politics, perception is reality. And it's very unfortunate that I think he has no choice but to resign from the position of trying to be a candidate again, because it's going to be a burden on the back of the entire party. It's very interesting that the leader and the chairman of the party has said nothing at all to defend their comrade. And I look forward to Mr. Ingram being the titular head of the FNM, or, you know, the former leader who's really the man in charge, as he should be.
What do you mean he's the man in charge?
When I say in charge, I'm talking
charge.
I'm talking he is really the impetus of the FNM at this time. He's been the Prime Minister 3 times. He has all the experience. He carries the load for the FNM, as he's done over the years, and I'm sure he would step to the fore, and he will assist him in making that decision that it is in the best interest.
So you don't think, Leslie, that leadership is meeting right now to sort of, before they preempt a statement, sort of meet with Marvin, talk with him, and see where they're at to maybe assess it before they just go out and jump in front of the media?
I'm also pretty met with him. I think it's a situation where Mr. Dames could maybe easily say, well, the leader, you had your own problems yourself. So don't tell me what to do. If I'm innocent, I could put some stuff on you. You know.
What? Hold on, Leslie. Hold on.
No, if you pressure a fella and he got the ball in his pocket and he doesn't want to leave, then he'd bring out stuff on demand of what happened before when he had to leave the Senate. Don't forget now. Don't forget
yesterday's news.
It's yesterday, but it's the same thing as politics. That's why I say in politics, perception is reality. What people perceive happen is what they believe in their minds. And it's a burden on the Free National Movement. They have the decision to make.
It's a distraction.
Mr. Dames, who I have the greatest respect for, have a decision to make. And he have to make that decision very shortly.
And they don't have a lot of time.
Dr. Minnis came out yesterday and say it would just have been a 24-hour situation with him, and it would have been done.
Hold on, what Doc say?
He said that if it was him, by tomorrow it wouldn't have been in the newspaper anymore, because he would have been gone.
They would have cut ties immediately.
But you could say anything when you...
I'm glad you said.
Gabrielle, you have spoken. Gabrielle,
most can say anything today about Gabrielle, you and your friend. Leslie,
you are not Leslie Miller. Number one, you are not Leslie Miller. Leslie, don't get involved with Gabrielle. Gabrielle is not Leslie Miller, and Gabrielle, you have said enough last night. That's all I have to say. Well, I tell you.
He took his time in making some decisions too.
You all leave Dr. Minnis alone.
Challenging the leadership to do the right thing, I guess.
Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana.
Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines, I mean they gotta change those folks, but
they got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations.
And these two models, they ain't gonna change. Superwash, they washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
The race to 2026 is heating up, and the nation's voice is louder than ever. Here on Beyond the Headlines, we're checking the mood, the momentum, and the message of the people. I'm Shanique Miller. Each week, we're taking the temperature of the electorate to see what's really driving the nation. Who's connecting? Who's cooling off? What issues are heating up ahead of 2026? This is Temperature Check 2026, where journalism meets the nation's heartbeat.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
.5 is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D, all backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, 30. VIP, 75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Let's jump right into the Department of Immigration looking to strengthen its operations in the face of an increasing number of fraudulent documents being discovered. Jose Etienne spoke with the director of the department today.
Passport fraud continues to raise serious concerns about the integrity of the Bahamian passport and the system designed to protect it. With the issue now under a microscope, Immigration Director Stephen Larota says steps have already been taken to strengthen oversight.
We have an officer assigned to the passport officers who is able to screen those documents, anything that's a little suspicious or of concern that's issued by the Department of Immigration that's being used over there. They'll be able to verify and confirm that it is issued by us or not issued, citizenship in particular.
The move comes after a Haitian man was sentenced for passport fraud, a case that investigators say involved fraudulent documents being used to obtain a Bahamian passport.
We became aware of intelligence about fraudulent documents and forged documents that are out there in the wider community that are being circulated. And in some cases, we are aware that documents purported to be from the Department of Immigration is finding its way in the hands of some unscrupulous people. They're using those documents and to go to the passport office, in some cases, and acquire Bahamian passports.
What remains unclear is how those documents are being produced and whether any insiders are assisting in the scheme.
I've seen some stuff that we have already done, and it's out there in social media. We've had dismissals that have not made social media, and we have a number of ongoing investigations regarding to allegations made against some of our people. Not a lot, a handful, and we're actively investigating those matters.
And those matters have to do with passport fraud?
Those matters have to do with fraud in general, so it may include passports.
Larota, who has been at the helm for 7 months, says he's taking a zero-tolerance approach to any form of corruption within the department.
Where I find that there's malfeasance taking place, we do our proper investigations and we do what we have to do, whether it's taken before the courts or dismissal. The law is not oblivious, and we are not accepting anybody in this organization doing anything that's untoward.
As the investigations continue, the broader issue here remains safeguarding the credibility of a document that represents national identity and security. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
So you all, you see, it's something that's very important, really, that the department is doing, because we often wondered, we know it's various levels of where fraud can take place, where people can present fraudulent documents and kind of just get through the system. Recently at the Parliamentary Registrar Department, they spotted a fake passport, a fraudulent passport. That no doubt happened, that act of fraud perhaps happened very early on, as many people go and try to just get through the system. But what do y'all make of immigration finally speaking up? We've heard the passport office several times speak about what it is doing and continues to do to strengthen and to put those plug those gaping holes as it relates to possible fraud. But first time that immigration is speaking out about what it is doing.
I think the Department of Immigration definitely should be doing that, continuing to strengthen the safe measures to make sure that everyone and anyone isn't obtaining these documents, especially illegally. They shouldn't be obtaining them illegally at all. And then everyone shouldn't just, that walks through the door, should be, whoa, you're approved, because they use these documents that they get and then they take them over to our passport office.
Exactly.
And there are protocols and guidelines. So a lot of the onus we're putting on the passport office, and they're accepting documents that were obtained fraudulently from other departments. So maybe it is we need to go back and look at the registrar with these birth certificates of persons. Because you remember now, Leslie would be able to probably even speak better to this. These births that took place on family islands, where people were born pre-1973, and these handwritten documents now. So when these illegal aliens come into the country now, all of a sudden an identity is made up. They was born on some island somewhere doing something, and all of a sudden now, so they take this handwritten document, one immunization card they write up. Remember back in the day, you used to write on the NIB cards. You used to have the little yellow card, you used to write in the NIB number. So all of a sudden, this person that never existed suddenly exists. They now have all the prerequisites to take to the passport office. And then they obtain this passport, and we are up in arms saying, how did this happen? Immigration needs to be looked into deeply, whether it's people being paid off to put these things through. So that means, yeah, you didn't get your little tip. So they got all the documents legally on the surface, but illegally through bribes. You're selling your country away. That's where we need to take $1 million and put into a probe into the Department of Immigration, into our registrar offices to see in the last 50 years, our entire existence as an independent country, how many persons were granted Bahamian citizenships using these documents. Boy, plenty Bahamians, we may not have 400,000 people anymore.
You know, it is very interesting that, especially in the family islands, as you alluded to, do you realize that our top officer in the family island, what do we call them, the
Island administrator.
Island administrator, years ago could have given you citizenship?
What?
Yes. They could have stamped your damn passport and give you citizenship. Think of what's going on. I think one of the biggest problems we have in this country is these so-called JPs. We need to censor, remember Foxham? For about 10 years. They are the biggest problems with providing people with false IDs for $500. That's what we need to look at. The government, you just can't routinely make someone a JP. It is wrong. And in the family islands, it is dangerous because so many people come through the family islands. All of our major family islands, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera, Abaco, Andros, and get citizenship. I don't think we realize the impact. I saw it just last week. 2 Haitian guys were found guilty for having false passport. They get 3 years. What the hell is 3 years taking my citizenship?
Not 3 years.
How to give a man 3 years and not to be deported afterwards? The two in Grand Bahama a few weeks ago who were selling passports and documents to their buddies in Florida to come to the Bahamas. If we grant you a citizenship as a legal immigrant when you came here, if you do something like that, your status should be revoked. You should go back to where you came from. Haitian or not. But we are too lax with the laws. That's our problem. I tell you, in the next 30 years, we can have a country called the Bahamas, you know. Watch. They can take it from us.
No man, Leslie, man.
I'm telling you, the laws are too lax.
We haven't had anyone
2
that's
lakhs.
really serious though about immigration. When last time we had an immigration minister that is ready to shut things down, that is really ready to go the extra mile to get in there? Loftus Roker.
Yeah, that's God bless you.
Loftus
God bless you,
Roker.
Mr. Roker.
Leslie, what you say? It ain't happen? What do you mean
It ain't happen. Listen, these fellas buy. It start off with the little fella. It start with the JP. With these false narratives, with these.
But who's making them JPs, Leslie?
Huh?
Anybody can just go. I can just go to my MP and say, Mr. Miller, I want to be a JP because I need to make a couple of dollars. Things a little slow because he ain't signing off on no paper. So a couple of people come to me and I say, I need you to stamp this passport.
I saw a lady in the papers this morning say she's trying to get citizenship. Her name is Marie Joycelyn Ramming. That happens to be Leslie, a mother.
What?
She
stole somebody's name?
Marie Joycelyn Ramming. Basically from through the same street, Taylor Street.
She didn't do a deed poll, Leslie.
She didn't. I didn't
Did
know
you
what
find
that
out
she
that
did.
because what I've been noticing as well a lot is there have been a lot of deed polls for these persons to change their last names and their names. So they've been adopting. They've been adopting Bahamian last
I think
names.
this is something we've got to discuss moving forward because I think these people are robbing and raping Bahamian identities and legacies and families, because you cannot just go and decide you're going to go and say, that one, that's the name I'm taking. No, these are
that is my birthright. You take
these
it
are
from me.
people's birthright, their legacies, their family. Their,
Yes, you have no right to do that.
People
No
who
right.
have been in it for decades.
No
these
right.
names and these
And we
families
allow
have
it to happen.
existed, and we sit back and allow them to do it. Why is it that you want to change your
Yeah,
name?
a couple of them named Pinling.
Why you want to change your Pinling and Davis?
I told you the guy was bold enough.
Listen,
I said, Chief, what's your name? Pinling? I said, strike the Rob him. You name Pinling, man. Look at you. And they serious.
Leslie, but he has legal documents
Yes,
to
he
say
does.
that, right?
Listen
so
to me.
who signed off on
A
that?
whole family
One of
of
them.
Chinese
Who you mean
named
who signed
Davis.
off
You
on
don't
it?
get it?
One of his brothers.
A whole family of Chinese. Last name is Davis.
Yeah, you figured it.
Now that
They
right
say-
there,
they say,
again.
We got Prime Minister named Davis. I named Davis.
They named Davis. Chinese. Wing Ling Davis. You know, listen to me.
You got to stop, man.
Listen to me.
Very serious. Very serious, man.
I mean, and we're laughing, right?
Very
Because
serious.
it's the saying goes, laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah.
Because this is a
Very
serious
serious.
matter. This is vexing to Bahamians, but we need our government, Leslie. We need people advocating. We need people serious from the top
I
down
met some
to
fellas
say
from Turks Island
enough
last
is
night
enough.
while we were campaigning. And the fella said, boy, Port Cake said, I know you was down here a couple of months back. I said, yeah. So you realize that we went to Britain to get our independence. And we walk out. Because you know what they told them? Everyone who is in Turks and Caicos must be a Turks and Cajun. And it's 32,000 Asian and 18,000 Turks.
Whoa.
So the fella said, I can get my independence to give it to you. What y'all gonna do? Say, Miller, we don't know what to do. Say, but y'all next. Said it to me last night. All of us, the whole team. Say, we next. I said, glad I can be around in 2 years. Because I can kill somebody.
Leslie, but your grandchildren and your children are going to be around.
Yeah.
So this is the legacy. Now I know you've always been a fighter. So
Yeah.
I know you ain't going out.
No.
You ain't going out soft.
We can't
You're going
do it.
out fighting. So
There's
we
no
have to
reason
continue to
for us give them
advocate.
any more citizenship. Give them Bahamian status. Belong status.
Permanent
Why do we have to
residency,
give
things you could revoke.
citizenship?
Well,
What-
listen, you all,
Why do we have to
speaking-
give citizenship? What law says we
there
have to give
needs to be a
citizenship?
moratorium.
Which law?
Absolutely, because even
We
in the
said
United
over and over on this
States,
show.
you've got to go through
5
the
years.
various steps. You got to get your residency, your green
Yeah,
card.
that is reset,
that has to go and be
That's all
revisited and
reset.
revised, and then because you ain't gonna just get a citizenship.
It is wrong.
Speaking of
and
you
I,
all,
and I think
first
it's
of all,
outrageous for any political party,
yes.
PLP or FNM,
Yeah.
to be given a citizenship for votes. I will never ever agree with that in 1,000 years.
Yep, absolutely.
Never.
Well, Leslie, here's something that
Never.
knocked on your back door really recently that was you were quite troubled by, and so many of us were troubled by, but this has been all too frequent with 4 industrial accidents this year, and hopefully we have no more. You remember those shockingly gruesome incidents, Leslie, again, one just out your back door.
I just went there on Sunday, take some flowers.
Well, Well, Labour officials are trying to get to the bottom of what seems to be an unprecedented amount of industrial accidents these past few months, including just this month, I understand. Daniel Dean has the story, and then we come back and talk about it.
Industrial accidents are raising serious concerns tonight after 4 men were injured on job sites so far this year, 2 of those incidents proving fatal. The most recent case unfolded Wednesday on Fire Trail Road, where a 34-year-old man was trapped under a crane at a construction site. Emergency crews were called to the scene and worked to extricate the man before rushing him to hospital. Officials say he remains in critical condition. The incident marks the 4th industrial accident recorded this year. 2 earlier cases resulted in deaths, while another worker continues to recover from his injuries. Labour Minister Pia Glover-Roll says the frequency of these incidents is a growing concern for her ministry.
Occupational safety and health is a major concern for the Department of Labour. We have inspectors that go on job sites. We have actually, through the OAS, gotten drone technology to learn to how we can assist in remote locations and over our work sites. So very concerned. We know that a lot of training and retraining has to happen.
The minister, however, emphasized that even when the department conducts inspections and safety protocols are in place, accidents can still occur.
An accident is that. It's an accident, something that was not expected, but of course tragically happened.
Nevertheless, in light of the uptick, she says the Department of Labour will be stepping up inspections, particularly at active construction sites, to ensure proper safety measures are being followed.
Where there is not happening, there are fines that are in place.
Wednesday's incident prompted the immediate closure of the Fire Trail Road worksite as investigators work to determine the cause. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Well, you all, first of all, it's good to hear that. It's necessary, it's needed. Pia Glover-Roll was there speaking of how they're going to go to construction sites now and begin, I guess, having greater oversight. But Bahamians for too long, Leslie and Gabrielle, have wanted to take shortcuts. And I'm not trying to be insensitive of what we've seen played out since last month and this month. I wouldn't dare do that. But I hope a part of this crackdown is also an attempt to have all of us not be so careless and taking shortcuts.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I just want to use this opportunity to send condolences to the family and just to remind everyone in those industries to use the precautions, use the harnesses, use all your safety equipment, whether it's the hard hats, the steel toe boots, use everything that you can to protect yourself, to be able to go home at the end of the day to your family and your loved ones. I know sometimes it's like, okay, I've been doing this so long, I could just go in and get this done. But these measures are there to save you, protect you in your life, so you could go home at the end of the day to your family. So I just want to take that time to remind all of our hard-working persons in the industrious industry, protect yourself, protect your family and your loved ones.
God knows the last month has been very difficult for all of us. I had 2 friends who got killed in an accident. It was unnecessary. I was to the house on Saturday. Madam, I left the flowers on the car opposite you. I could try to hail you tonight. But it's unfortunate, and you got to be careful, But just like you said, these fellas been doing this for so long, and nothing has happened. And then it happens. And think about your loved ones, man. Think about them losing a father, losing a brother, losing a friend, losing a husband. It's devastating, and it affects the families for the rest of their lives. So please, I hope God be with us and we be more cautious in the work that we do, that other people are depending on us to be safe, to enable them to be safe. So I trust, and I give my sympathies to everybody.
And get yourself some insurance, people. Get some insurance.
I'm down insurance company, don't pay.
I thank you both very much. Leslie Miller, Gabrielle McKenzie, Aeneas, thank you very, very much. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, your favorite priest, Father Bradley Miller, is here to talk about, you guessed it, sweethearting. We're back right after this.
The Fox Foundation proudly presents the keynote speaker for the 3rd Annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, this March 19th at 7 p.m. at the beautiful Bahamas Resort. Get ready to be inspired by Randy Zuckerberg, tech innovator and the creator of Facebook Live. She revolutionized real-time digital engagement, empowering individuals and brands to broadcast instantly to global audiences. And now she brings that innovation and insight to the Fox Foundation's 3rd annual Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative, March 19th at 7 p.m. at the Bahamas Resort. Under this year's theme, Give to Gain, join us for a night designed to inspire growth, spark opportunity, and strengthen the future of women in business.
Okay guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. It's 10K. Name these games after me. Fruit Dragon.
Fruit Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Bronson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K Payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here. Is turning 8 years old. 103.5 The Beat and Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group presents The Beat Fest. It's a Bahamian musical experience on March 14th at The Pond. Doors open 7 p.m. sharp. Performing live, Shine, Stevie S, Mama D, Veronica Bishop, Funky D, all backed up by The Pond Band. Hosted by Joe Cools, 1K Gaza, and Jess Mo. Music by 103.5 The Beat DJ. Tickets available now at all Beauty Shack locations. General admission, 30. VIP, 75. Get your tickets early. Spots are limited. Sponsored by Mazzari International, The Plug, and The Beauty Shack. And of course, 103.5 The Beat.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. We're going to now get into some topics that's been trending really for the last week. In fact, since this study was done and came out by the University of the Bahamas, any number of voices, any number of pastors even, have spoken out about sweethearting. Some figure, why was the study done? What was the reason for doing it? Particularly when it's sort of, everybody agrees, pastime, a part of the fabric of what Bahamian society is. Others are saying, listen, and while it may be the topic at hand, topical and trending, and people having any number of opinions on it, we must all understand, though, that it is something, an act and a behavior that really tears at the very foundation of what the family is, of what the society is. And of course, that is the nuclear family when you bring in a third partner to that marriage relationship. And so this evening, as we are in the Lenten season, we are going to look at that University of the Bahamas study once again. Joining me is the outspoken priest, Father Bradley Miller. Of course, you all love to hear his points of view on any number of issues, topical issues, religious issues. And so we're going to begin right there this evening, though, on that study and its findings. and also to look at the root problems and issues that sort of just spin off from it. And so, good evening to you, Father Miller. It's good to have you here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening, Shanique. What a wonderful time to be back with you again.
Father Miller,
thank you so much
yes,
for your invitation.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much, because I know you've been a little quiet. You've been a little quiet, so it's good to have you here and speaking on something that is everybody's talking about, has the people's attention, and also that we must know still is not something to be proud of, huh?
No, it's nothing that we should be proud of.
Father
and
Miller,
I'm disturbed by that.
You are disturbed by the study.
Very much, very much.
Let's start here. When the study came out and it went viral, as you saw, everybody in every quarter was talking about it and still are talking about it. What was your response? What was sort of your cautioning to your congregation?
Well, first of all, Shanique, let me tell you, I was not surprised by the survey, because what has happened in our country, and I want to keep it just in the Bahamas, what has been happening in our country, that kind of lifestyle has been the accepted norm. It has been the accepted norm where it has become, we have become numb to it.
Yes.
Even churches have become numb to it. Even people have become numb to it. Even parents have become numb to it when their children do it. We have become numb to it. And that kind of thing, that sweethearting thing, that has never been a part of God's design. The problem is, it's in our society, we have decided, because, you know, and I have a problem when people say, well, you know, Father, it's happening, nothing you could do with it. I say, no, we must speak out against it. It is wrong. It has never been a part of God's design. It has never been a part of God's plan.
Let's talk about how sweethearting, because it's nothing new. We all know that. This ain't, so for those who acted surprised, come on now. Because this has been around perhaps since before independence in this Bahamas. We're just focused in on us.
Yes, I just want to focus on the Bahamas.
Exactly. What is it, how destructive over the years, over the decades, has sweethearting been and become to the fabric of our lives here in the Bahamas?
It is very destructive. Shanique, what it does, it destroys marriage and family life. Because somebody, whether it's a male or a female, somebody decide that they want to go contrary to the marriage vow. And going contrary to the marriage vow, what happens now, you invite, and I want to use a passage of scripture from one of Paul's letters to Corinthians. Paul talks about, you know, when you decide that you're going to leave your marriage home and go to somebody else, you know what St. Paul says? You might, when you finish with that woman, you must well take, or that man, you must well take that man or woman back to your house, because now your spirit has already been entwined with that person.
So they don't understand it's a spiritual transfer of energies and everything else.
Exactly. It's a spiritual transfer. So when you leave that man or when you leave that woman and you go back to your spouse, you have now taken a spirit back to your home.
And God knows what else.
And God knows what else. Unfortunately, I hope it's not some venereal disease. But the reality is, you know, I believe what we need to do in our country, we need to stop tolerating slackness. This is slackness
but how do you
at the
say
highest
that?
order. So here, yes, here's my point. Then let's get back to building marriage and family life.
To make it attractive and appealing. Because I want to say to you, Father, because even in the church, Father, I know you know this. Even in the church, the very man with the collar on, the very man on the pulpit preaching every Sunday, sometimes is guilty of this.
That is true.
So I want to ask you, how do you say we need to stop the slackness? We need to get back to the basics of valuing family, valuing marriage. When if you are somebody who has sort of made it, ain't got something on the side, you really are seen as nothing in this society.
Well, we have to go back from the beginning. Let's go back to the creation story. From the beginning of the creation story, when we read the creation story, God created the man And then before, a lot of people say he created woman, but no, after the man there was animals. And God created animals, and then God says, this animal is not suitable for the man. So that tells us right there, and I need to put this plug in, that human beings should not be going with animals. That's bestiality. God saw that man should not be going with animals. God said, look, I need to make this man a partner, help me. And God in his wisdom created, the creation story tells us that he put the man to sleep, take a rib out, etc., etc. And then woman came along, and the man says, whoa, born of my own bone, flesh of my own flesh, she should be called woman. And that creation story tells us, and they became his wife, and Adam knew his wife. And of course, that means they had sexual intercourse, and they move on to build a family. That was God's plan from the beginning. God's plan has not changed. God's plan is always that a man and a woman should come together in marriage and be faithful to each other.
Yes. So you mean God's plan is not outdated in 2026?
God's plan is not outdated.
Like in 2026, he's in understanding that, man, this is a different day and age, and I gonna need my little extra something on the side.
No, you don't need the extra something. What you need is to be faithful to the marriage vow that you have committed. When I consult people, Shanique, and I do not marry people unless I take them through, well, we are mandated in my church to do the 12 weeks of marriage control, 3 months. When I consult people, one of the things I say to them, listen, Shanique, you could find any man out there. You're a beautiful lady, you could find any man out there. But this is the one you say you want. I say to the man, you can find any woman out there. This is the woman you say you want. I said, remember, the man or woman you find ain't the sweetest and ain't the richest. But this is the one you say you want. I said, stick to your vows. I said, because if you're not serious about going down this thing, you should not get into it. And that's why we are mandated to make sure, that's why premarital counseling is very important in order to keep this marriage and family together, because we have to realize, and I say to people, look, marriage is not a bed of roses. You will have your challenges.
It's a daily effort, huh?
It's a daily effort. You have to put into it. You have to live that vow. Listen, the only reason why I'm still married to my wife today, and the only reason why me and my wife still together today, is because I decided and we decided we're not going to go against each other. We're going to be faithful to this vow that we have made. And I live by that. That I'm going to be faithful to the vows that I've made, to the woman I took down at the altar. I got to find 100 or million women out there. Some more pretty than my wife. Some more richer than my wife. Somebody will say some more sweet than my wife, but I don't know that. But I decide that this is the one I want.
Well, let's just talk about that. Let's talk about what the church is doing. See, because the church has a role in this. The church, you all could preach about everything but marriage and the family. You could preach about the fact that your offerings need to be bigger. Your I don't know, you need to be here every Sunday. You need to be a part of this ministry, that. But you do not focus on marriage and how to love one another, respect one another, even be intimate with one another. Has the Bahamian church fallen down over the years in pushing marriage and family to the forefront?
I would not say that. I would not say that. And I can only speak for the diocese of what I'm a part of and the church that I pastor, which is All Saints. I preach that every Sunday. I preach marriage and a family life. As a matter of fact, last year our diocese still have this theme called Family Matters, and we took it over again into this year because we recognize that we need to build strong families in our country. If we're going to save our country, the only way we can build strong families is through marriage and family life. And we have to teach people that we have to teach people the importance of marriage and family life. Because remember, you grow up in a stable home, so you might not be vulnerable to some of these other things. But there are other people out there who were vulnerable to certain things that they see, and they think that is the norm, because that's the environment they was raised in. So we have to teach people that, listen, you have to teach people the importance of marriage and family life. Because remember, you grow up in a stable home, so you might not be vulnerable to some of these other things. But there are other people out there who were vulnerable to certain things that they see, and they think that is the norm, because that's the environment they was raised in. So we have to teach people that, listen, God's standard, God's provision is always this, that a man and woman come together in a relationship and then they bear children. You know, one of in our Book of Common Prayer, one of the charge that we give to persons when we about to perform the wedding ceremony is that, and we laid out, it's a beautiful, I guess I could remember everything offhand, but one of the things that we say is that marriage is a part of God's plan. And it is when it's appropriate for the procreation of children. Children is an extension in marriage, you know. When you marry that fella, Shanique, when you say I do, that's a family. The children is an extension of family.
So
the minute you say I do,
that's a family.
That's a family.
And that unit should not be broken.
And that unit should not be
sacredly.
broken. And that's a sacred trust. That's a sacred trust that you have between you and your spouse. And we are all called, yes, there's temptation out there, because I'm a priest and I can tell you there's temptation. I'm not exempted from temptation, and that's what I told my people on Sunday.
And so people should know that, that you're not necessarily going to be exempted from temptation, but it's giving into that temptation.
It's giving into that temptation. But the thing about it is that you have to realize that what I always say to myself, I made a vow, and I want to be faithful to these vows that I've made. Because the vows that I've made, or everybody who married made, for better, for worse. So that means when things ain't going good, you still stick in it. For rich or poor, so that means when things, the fella may not, things that take money.
I'll tell you this, see, and I don't want to, I want to respect the good pastor here, the good priest, and the priest is my family as well, so, you know, I don't want to get out of hand. But, you know, I think what's missing from church and church teachings and the pulpit is teaching a man in particular how to please his wife. Because that study also said women now are being wives rather, are now being satisfied. They like who knew, first of all, that so many wives were sweethearting, right?
Yes.
I think my thing is, I think they're pushed to do that after the men have been so busy out there. So the women say, man, shoots, why, I'm not going to divorce you, so why don't I go also get satisfied? But women are out there being satisfied because they're not being satisfied in the home. How do you address that?
But I don't buy that, Shanique. And let me tell you why I don't buy that. One of the things I discover in marriage and the Bahamian society is a lack of communication. Shanique, if you and I are husband and wife, and I'm not, as you say, performing as I should, you should be able to have a conversation with me. Say, listen, husband, you know, this is what I prefer, this is what I like, and you help me along that journey. We in this together.
Because after all, and I was whispering to you and mouthing off the camera to say, listen, men don't like that because they're insulted, but men will take that from their sweethearts. They want the sweetheart to tell them what to do and what they want, don't they?
So then you need to tell.
So then the wife, that's what I'm saying. The wife now to step up and say.
Yes, you need to say, listen, honey, this is the case, or this ain't the case. It's a matter of communication. You know, in the scripture talk that the marriage bed is undefiled. Now, I don't know what that means, and I'm a priest. I don't know what that means. But I would assume that means that whatever you all want to do or whatever you all come to conclusion with is fine. So we should be able to have a conversation. The problem with many marriages, because I discover that many people in marriage do not communicate effectively.
No, you're right.
If I'm not pleased, Shanique, and I'm just using you as an example, if I'm not pleased with you, shouldn't I come and say, honey, let's have a conversation?
You should.
Let's have a conversation.
And I should be,
the wife,
and
vice versa,
as well as the husband,
right?
Be open to it.
You have
take
to be
it as an insult.
You don't have to go out there, because you know I love my wife. Oh Lord, my wife sometimes is really. My wife sometimes is really inspire me. You know, I remember my wife was saying something one time. We was having a conversation with somebody, and she would say, this person said, you know, Why you have to go there to look for something, right? The same thing you're looking for is right in the home.
Right in your house.
Okay, let me put that kind of simple. If I come home and maybe you didn't cook the rice properly, but maybe you can't cook. So shouldn't I be able to say, well, you know, Shanique, maybe you're putting too much water in your rice. Maybe you're not long, or maybe you have the fire up too high. Mm-hmm. And so we have to work together so that at the end of the day, the marriage is built on communication, where if I'm not satisfied with something, I should be able to tell my wife. If she's not satisfied with something, she should be able to tell me. Mm-hmm. That's where communication comes.
And that's across the board.
Yes, across the board. But it should not, remember, it should always be, first and foremost, you must be faithful to the marriage vow. Now, in that marriage vow being faithful,
yes,
you should have that integrity to be faithful. You should have that integrity. Now, of course, if there's something down the road ain't working out, but let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I want to say before, geez, Justin, we were just getting into this. How could you wrap this up already? You said in order to try and correct this decades-old sort of standard in the Bahamas, meaning sweethearting, that family life should begin from the primary school level.
Marriage and family life have to be taught from primary level. We have to teach people that God's design is man and woman come together and then children as a part of the family. Because we believe that we've gone totally astray.
To the point that many people don't want to be married. I mean, how do you even address that? They speaking of sweethearting. I guess the single set sweethearting the married man or woman because they.
But if you don't get married, then you need to stay celibate. Stay celibate. That's a choice. That the Bible speaks about. That's a choice. You don't want to get married, then stay celibate. But St. Paul said, if you can't, how St. Paul describe it? If you're burning, then you need to find a man or a woman.
Find a mate.
And then when you find that one, you stay with that one.
Yes. I have to have you back because, of course, you know, this is Lent. I want you to talk about in the Bahamas where we need to be focused on because I think all this study came in so timely because it leads us back season. To God. Yeah. It's necessary. I know that you support that message for sure. And then I want to ask you more about marriage. You know what I mean? Let's just get happy marriages here, because if you ain't happy, you can always slip and slide.
Well, I will tell you this, Shanique. That's what we need to start promoting. We need to start promoting it in marriage and family life. If we're not promoting it, then people will think that ain't nothing to marriage.
Absolutely.
But once we start promoting it, people will recognize, hey, this is a good life that I want to be a part of. Yeah. I've been married going on 30 years now.
30 years?
Yes, 30 years now. And I can tell you, if I did do it over again, I'll marry that same woman.
Same woman.
Same woman.
Excellent. Congratulations on 30 years, by the way.
Thank you.
Listen, Father, we will have you back because, of course, we want to talk about some stuff in terms of a nation seeking God, especially in this season, in this season here. And so we certainly, of course, look forward to that. Father Bradley Miller, the rector of All Saints there in the South Beach area, All Saints Anglican Church. Thank you very much for being here. People love your perspectives and everything. They've been asking for you and when are you going to come back? And so there he is this evening. We're going to have him back again very soon, especially to talk about this whole season that we're in. Beyond the Headlines, of course, enjoys bringing you these discussions to cause you think more, to cause you to kind of just focus on what's important, and we will continue to do that even in this election season. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Everybody have a wonderful evening. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening.
The Verizon Media Group, home of ILTV, Paramount Systems Limited, Eyewitness News, and Beyond the Headlines.